This is the Object 777 version 2. It is a tier 10 Soviet collector heavy that was released probably about 6-7 months ago. When this vehicle was released into the game, it absolutely dominated the meta. It dominated the comp scene. You could not find a single comp battle without this vehicle being used. And fast forward to today, and not a single one of these vehicles is seen in pubs or in the comp scene. Why? Honestly, I don't know. This is kind of how comp players work. Is a new vehicle gets released, they overhype the crap out of it, and then they play an entire season with it and never use it again. And it's really weird. I've never understood why that's the case. Especially because this is actually a very solid vehicle, and I'm a bit surprised to see it not being used too much anymore. In today's video, we are going to be playing in the 777, talking about its capabilities, its armor profile, and just why this is a super dangerous tank. So let's get straight into it. Starting off, we got the gun. And this is a really dangerous gun. 2900 DPM, that's with calibrated on. Today we'll be trying Gunrammer on the vehicle. As I've said in previous videos, I'm going to be messing around with Gunrammer, seeing how I like it. Maybe I'll start to put it on more tanks. Most likely I'll be sticking with Calibrated. Just the other day I had a situation where I was running Cali, and it gave me just enough pen to cut through an IS-7 turret. And if I was running Rammer, I would not have been able to. There's definitely a lot of situations where the penetration is a big benefit, but I can also see situations where having that increased reload, especially against lightly armored opponents, can be a big help. So it's honestly back and forth depending on what type of scenario you get stuck in. Personally, I think it would be really cool if, just like World of Tanks PC, you had equipment loadouts that you could swap when you're loading in the battle. Depending on what opponent you're up against, you could change between equipment loadout 1 and loadout 2. Will Wargaming ever do that? Most likely not, but I do think that would be a really cool and unique idea. So as I said, the 777 has very good DPM. It's got really good pen as well. 250 on the standard, it's alright. It's also APCR, which is pretty mediocre, but 340 heat, that's absolutely amazing. It also has pretty good damage per shot. 430 is a beefy enough alpha that you'll outtrade vehicles like a Chieftain Mark 6 or an E5 easily, and it's also not low enough that a vehicle like an IS-7 with 460 is going to completely smoke you when it comes to the trading department. This vehicle also features a pretty good chunk of mobility, reaching a top speed of 45, although its reverse speed is the major problem, only reversing at 12. So the 777 definitely has some weaknesses here and there. The reverse speed is definitely the biggest weakness. It also has a fairly poor ammo rack, and its roof can be quite easily overmatched. But it's got really good DPM, it's got a fairly accurate gun, and it's got really solid pen with great mobility. So it's honestly a very good tank, but it does have some balancing factors, which can knock it down a few pegs if a player doesn't know how to drive it. So we're going to start off by using that good mobility. You can see here we're already at 45 kilometers per hour. Now, to be fair, that was because we had a slight downhill gradient, but that's really all you need to get up to speed. I mean, look at that. We are going the same speed as a 121B right now. In fact, the 777 has a slightly better power to weight than the 113. However, it has a much worse traverse speed, so that's something you are going to have to keep in mind. The Sheridan is perfectly in a spot that's blocking where we'd want to be. It's actually kind of annoying. Like, he could easily be in one part of the bush, but he's just not. Alright, we got the Minnow off to the side, and unfortunate. Got the E6 off to the side as well. That's the only tank destroyer they have, so I'm going to push over here with the 5A, and we'll see. Pulling up. Let's go. I'll pull up. Alright, so we got the 50B off to the side, aiming, and fire. There you go. Nice 399 shot into his vehicle. E100's now making his way over here. And we also got the 260. Let's just see if we can bonk the E100. There you go. He over-angles his turret just a little bit and allows us to get a shell in. Alright, not too bad. He gets bonked, and that means E100's on a reload. He over-angled it for like half a second, but unfortunately we messed up the shot. But that's alright. We're just going to aim it on his lower plate at this point, and not be able to pen him. So this is definitely where I would prefer calibrated shells, because I wouldn't worry about being able to pen the E100 lower plate. I'd just load gold and I'd pen it any day of the week. But at the same time, we do have quite a bit more DPM to shoot at a vehicle like this Object 260, so it's kind of back and forth. Now in this situation, we just got to make sure the 260 really can't see our lower plate. He'll struggle to pen us in that way. There you go, we get a nice bounce. We're just going to chill here. We're going to keep on reloading, and we should be all right. He's going to angle his hull again, give us a very easy pen. But as you can see, that heat shell, I don't even know how he hit that. He hit like the back part of my tank. Interesting. We're going to load an AP just so we can confirm it. We actually might get out reloaded by the 260 here, but that's okay. We're just going to chill in cover, pen him. Nice. Okay, nice. So that was actually a pretty good situation there. We were able to deal over 3,000 damage at this point, and it should most likely be a win. All that's left is the enemy E6, who we can actually see right in front of us, who we got a nice snap into, and that's it. So yeah, first game, pretty good battle for the 777. We can see a great reason to why the vehicle's DPM and overall capabilities are really, really solid. The mobility allowed us to get into the front line quickly, the DPM allowed us to disperse of our opponents fast, and the armor allowed us to get a bounce. One single bounce, I think, is what we got that game. So yeah, the armor didn't really matter, but to be fair, it didn't really need to matter. We out DPM'd our opponent, and that's really all that we had to do. So 4,000 damage for our first result. Was that an ace? I highly doubt it. Yeah, I was about to say. While this vehicle is not played as much as it used to be, it's still a tank that does pretty well in its performance category. But yeah, that E100 was definitely an example where I'm used to calibrated, where I could have just buttered right through the turret. Now I actually have to aim it on his hull, and as you saw with AP, it was a pretty tricky pen because of the fact that it has APCR standard. So there are situations. Any German super heavy you're going to aim at is where running Kali is going to give you a big advantage. Running Rammer, though, is going to give you a big advantage against vehicles that have weak spots. You know, 50B, any day of the week you're going to farm it with Rammer. 60 TP, if you get the track wheel or the lower plate, you'll be able to farm it. So anything that has weak spots that you can shoot at, you know, lower plate of a super conch, anything like that, you're going to butter. But anything where you need the pen, it's definitely going to be painful, especially if you're aiming at something like a 268 version 4, for example, where you can just cut through the lower plate with heat if you're running Kali, where you can't if you're running Rammer. That is a big difference on your overall capabilities. So we got the 60 TP spotted, and I'm going to try and go wide as of right now. This tank is mobile enough that we should be able to, and we're going to try it. I mean, I'm hoping the 60 doesn't go wide, because that is a fairly dangerous tank, but it doesn't look like he's going to. They don't really have many heavies that I'm too worried about. That was an unfortunate shot, but we're all right. We don't have much support here either, though. It's just me versus the Caro as of right now. Let's see. I should be able to easily cut through that Caro, though. As long as we load heat, we can butter through his turret cheek. Okay, well, I'm going to move up if I can. Let's go. Let's go, Sheridan. Moving up. Moving up. Let's see, and a bonk. There you go. Nice shot once. Unfortunately, we just got absolutely crapped on for it. That's very fun. Alright, well, let's get a bonk into the Caro. At this point, he's basically killed himself for it. So, I mean, congratulations if that's what you are hoping. Sheridan bounces us. As we can see, the armor finally worked. Would have been nice if we had had a little bit more support, but at the end of the day, it's alright. We still bled out our opponents, and that's really all we had to do. That there was painful. That should not have bounced, but classic wargaming moments, I guess. We're just going to fire a heat shell at where he was. We can't really do anything right now because we have a dead driver, and judging that, as I said before, this vehicle has really bad traverse speed, this tank with a dead driver is literally like the slowest thing ever. So we have to wait 30 seconds to get our driver back. I don't know if we're going to do any more damage this game, but we're going to try. Let's see if we can maybe get a shell into that 183. Can we? Yes, we can. There you go. Nice 350 damage shot. Not a crazy roll, but pen's a pen. Let's see. I don't know where this Yag's going to be facing, but it looks like the TVP. We're just going to push over here and bonk him in the lower plate. And there you go. Yag bounces me, which is absolutely perfect. While we may not have our driver back for another couple seconds, we can still easily bleed the Shag out. So there you go. 2 shots into his vehicle. TVP is going to get to his rear. We're going to load heat at this point to be able to probably cut through his armor pretty easily. There you go. And now we back up. TVP finishes off the Yag, and a pretty decent result. We're at 2,900 damage at this point. I definitely made a very aggressive maneuver early game, but sometimes you have to make those maneuvers to win the game. Clearing that Caro and Sheridan, in my opinion, was probably the most important maneuver of the battle. Thankfully, my Sheridan helped me out, and we were able to arrive at a victory. But if my teammates didn't support me, definitely could have been challenging. The great thing about the Karo, or at least me fighting a Karo, is that that tank loses DPM when it shoots the clip. So the best way to really drive that tank is to just shoot once, reload, shoot once, if that makes sense. Obviously, that's not what that player ended up doing, but that's the best way to drive the tank. So when you play the Karo kind of more like he did and you just dump the clip into your opponent, it's not really going to work all too well for you. But, hey, a win's a win. I don't think we did anything crazy. I think it was 2,900 I saw, but we were definitely one of the major reasons why we won that battle so confidently. We were able to make a super aggressive play, and our team greatly benefited off of it, so I can't really complain at all. There you go. Second on the team. Not all too bad at all. Especially when we take our first game into the average, that brings us at 3,450. So not too bad. The 777 is a great tank. You can definitely see we're running Rammer has its downsides, though. Penetrating that Yag alone, that lower plate was actually almost red because this thing has APCR standard, which absolutely sucks. I do wonder, though, did we hit that blind shot on the Yag? I don't know. I have absolutely no clue, but actually, yeah, it looks like we did hit the blind shot on the Yag, because... No, maybe not. No, we didn't. Never mind. That's a lie. We did hit him, but I don't think we penned it. No. Okay. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I think this tank's great. I think it should be used in comp more. I don't know why it really went away. I mean, the 113's also great, and that thing's got so much pen. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.